Yeah, thank you. Well, I might mention about this repeater's coverage of Jackson. For 2 years, I was vice president of the Jackson Amateur Radio Club, so I was into Jackson quite a bit. And on Jackson's east side, this repeater is just a dynamite device. But there's a lot of hills on Jackson, so
this morning,
even
so I'm
on the
curious
other
if we're
side
going
of
to hear anything on
Jackson,
the radio.
if you're on one of those hills, it still
Take
gets
care, have a
in
great start to the
like
day.
dynamite.
That's my learning log time.
Kyle has routinely worked it at Leslie. That's about the outer limits of where, about as far as this repeater's going to get. But if you find a nice little rise in the road, it still comes in like dynamite. Let me hand it over to Ed. This is Eddie. Come on.
JE8PGT. Listen, guys, coming up to Southfield, and that's when I usually lose you. I listen to you guys every morning, but usually I cannot walk in. But I saw losing people right about there, so I'm going to say 73. It's been a pleasure, and I will talk to you gentlemen tomorrow. Great day. KE8PGC.
KE8PMK to join. Is that FM to join?
KE8PMK, good morning, Chuck, and good morning, Mike. Whiskey 8, Zulu Foxtrot Mike. And 3 to you, Ed. Over to you, Chuck. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. W8STX from KE8PMK in the group. And good morning, Jim, Eric, Wes, and who I missed, but I did catch the last part of your transmission. And good morning, Mike, W8FPM. I think I got that right today, Mike. I don't know. I've been a little squirrely these days. Issues with the doctors and all, you know. Had another appointment yesterday, and it did not go so great. All right, I'll hand it on down to Mike. W8ZFM, take it from KE8PMK.
All right. Good morning, everybody. You're listening to W8ZFM radio today. Let me know if I'm not making the machine well this morning, as I am headed more straight east than I am north. I don't have my first appointment until 10 o'clock in Ipsy. So I'm actually headed out to the Milan area to check out that Crystal Waters State Greenland, and I do have my powder kit with me, so if I find a decent spot, I might throw that up. So that's where I'm up to this morning. Over to you, Jim, unless someone else joins the roundtable. This is W8ZFM.
This is W8STX. Good morning, Chuck and Mike. Good to hear you guys on the radio. And Mike, trying to fit in a POTA activation before your first appointment at work. I think you got the process. That's a good thing. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Eric.
Good morning, Chuck, and good morning, Mike. Good to hear you guys. And Mike, I had sent an email out this morning to our 2-meter roundtable group. I don't know if you were actually in that group, but I know there's something you had asked about the other day regarding PCB fabrication. If you did not get that email, or if you're not part of that group, let me know, and I can just try and forward it to you directly so you can get that information as well. And with that, I'll send it over to Wes from NFPB.
Okay, well, Eric, you have to be on, I'm guessing, I-94, because I'm just barely picking you up on the input. It is not a copyable signal, but there is enough there where I hear the sound of your voice, so I know who it is. There's not even one word, but it's breaking through, and I can, so you may have already announced, where you're headed, but, so I can tell you right now, you're headed down I-94, westbound. Let me hand it down to Chuck. KE8PMK, this is,
All right, well, Chuck, you were pretty rough on that last one. We cut most of the opening and most of the last, 15 seconds or so, but the middle, the meat of your transmission there, that sandwich, we missed almost all of it. And Eric, yes, I did get the email. Thank you. And I got added to the group about, 6 months ago or so. It's been helpful. And I got it. I haven't looked at it yet, but I smiled when I saw it this morning on the phone. Jim, I'm pretty sure I got the bug, and I figured, well, it's only the antenna and 2 boxes to bring, so if I'm going to at least check out the site, I might as well bring the radio and the battery with me just in case. So, over to you, Jim, unless someone else wants to join. This is W8ZFM.
NHEUY repeater.
This is W8STX. Well, Mike, I think Rom and Jerry have been out to Crystal Waters, and I'll be interested to hear what you think about the place. Hopefully the parking is good and not too sloppy. Break for time. You are listening to the weekday morning roundtable on this frequency. It's an open table. It's open to all licensed amateurs in the listening area. Just fill out your call sign. We'd be glad to put you in rotation. We start about 8 o'clock in the morning and go till at least 8:30 if propagation allows, but oftentimes we do longer. It all depends upon how many people check in and how long people have to talk on the radio. And with that, over to Eric. This is W8STX.
This is KA8IMZ. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. KA8IMZ. Good to hear you this morning. ZFM, Mike. I'm glad you got the email. I have no way of knowing who all is and is not in the list, so I just kind of throw it to the address and see who gets it. I know Howard was also interested in it, but I'm pretty sure he got it because he just mentioned yesterday that he had his email address in the list updated. So as long as he checks the new address, I know he got it. But Wes, to answer your question, incorrect. I was on US 23 North just before North Territorial Road on my last transmission. So if you heard me from way over there, I guess I was getting a pretty good bit of propagation there. But no, I am not on 94. Nowhere near it today, actually. So with that, I will send it to Wes from NASPB.
NHUM. Well, okay, so I was picking up your signal from the directly east instead of from directly south. So at North Territorial and 23, that would put you pretty much directly east of my location. In the north part of, in fact, I can see North Territorial Road from where I am. So, yeah, okay, and let me not forget to say good morning to Al, listening in on AC. Good morning, Al. Always hoping you'll join in and all the fun. And good morning, Mike, IMZ Mike. And I don't believe I said good morning to ZFM Mike. Good morning, gentlemen. Be handing that over. Now, Chuck, I hand it to you, but on that last round, you were just barely coming in. And thank you, over to Chuck. I'll copy now. I've heard 100% copy, but just barely. Wind around out there. 45. He thought it sounded pretty good, so I must have done something right. All right, I'll keep it short and on down to my W8 is ZFM from 8 p.m.
All right, yeah, that one was a little better. You held the machine much higher percentage that time, so that was good. I'm gonna getting back to Jim there and what he said about Jerry being out at Crystal Waters. I am gonna take his advice. I'm gonna go around the park, in the truck first, and if everything's gated like it looks like it will be, I'll probably go right where Jerry emailed that spot you and I that set off the road a bit. But we'll go check it out and see, and who knows, it may just be too sloppy now that it's freshly dampened this morning. But the further north I go, it seems to be a little drier than down by my place. So I'm going slightly northeast right now, and the sides of the roads and puddles and stuff are less frequent than what I was seeing at home. So we'll see. Over to Mike. Good morning. This is W8ZFM.
Roger, top of the morning. Jim, who do I send it to? I jump in and then I'm not sure of the rotation. I develop it as it goes along. Who do I send it to, Jim?
This is 88IM. It's going to be me, and then I'll be sending it to Jim. Good morning.
Yeah, okay, very good, Howard. It is early spring. Went for a walk outside yesterday. Man, it was like 52 degrees, I guess. And I hear that we're going to get a little bit of cold weather, but then going up to almost 60. So it's good to get those spring activities started. Go ahead, Howard. This is KA8IMZ.
This is 88IM. That was a perfect opening for me to jump in there, Mike. You're a good street man there, Abbott and Costello. Or Laurel and Hardy there. Actually, Stan Laurel was, I saw him doing his stuff in some old videos there that people managed to capture before he's working with Oliver Hardy there. And man, what a difference. That guy is actually a very versatile comedic actor. He came across very serious. I bet he was able to do dramatic roles as well. Just, oh man, talk about a blast from the past there. Anyway, good morning. Yeah, and it is slick out there in spots, including my lawn. I went to move this truck from next to the driveway off the lawn and up into front of the garage so I could get it power washed and then be aimed right in the for the garage bay so I can move it in when I'm ready to start working on that timing chain, get that ordered in. And yeah, I'm able to move 5-10 feet, but I'm not moving very fast. It's definitely sinking in there in spots there. You can definitely tell it's a lot heavier a vehicle than that. So I may be looking at figuring out ways to get some stuff under that and get that moving. Fortunately, it's not totally stuck, but yeah. And it also reminded me I'll probably want to put tires on it once everything else is done. On totally different topics, one of my colleagues who sat down at work today had messaged me that there's a whole bunch of cellular phone outages going across the whole U.S. today there. She says AT&T's down and they won't even confirm that they're down. But I'm looking at down detector, and out of the top 12 there, 10 of them are different cellular providers. So it's not looking like a good morning for somebody working in RF or maybe just the engineers there, because it's probably a backbone connection, I'm guessing, rather than a RF link. So with that, it's a good start. Good morning, everyone. And won't be as warm today, but it'll be better than it has been. W8STX to take it in this revolution of this fine morning roundtable wheel. This is W8STX. And good morning, Mike, and good morning, Howard. Good to hear both of you on the radio this morning. And Howard, yes, I saw the notice that there was an outage, cellular outages. But I looked on my phone. I have T-Mobile cellular, and it thinks I have 3 bars here where I am. And that's pretty good. I have AT&T internet, and my internet is up. So I'm okay here, but I'm sure other people are having trouble if you believe the What's Down website. Over to Eric. This is WNSX.
Well, morning, Howard. Good to hear you. And yeah, as far as comedic actors go who play versatile roles, you had mentioned that, and it got me thinking. I just learned not too long ago that everybody knows Leslie Nielsen for his roles in The Naked Gun and Airplane and other hit comedy movies. But I guess up until Airplane, he was a very serious actor. I never really saw any of his early works where he played serious roles. But after learning that, I may want to go back and check that out because I guess he had a very versatile range there. As for outages, so far my home internet is up and running, and Verizon apparently is working okay, at least in this particular location, because I'm using Wave navigation, which relies on a data connection, and it hasn't complained about being offline yet, knock on wood. So I guess we'll play it by ear. Weather-wise, as long as the rain holds off, because I'm going to be probably spending most of the day on a roof up in Lapeer. So they said rain down in Canton, but no rain in Lapeer. So I'm going to play it by ear that it holds off. If we get a couple sprinkles, well, I guess I can find other work to do up there that's not on a roof. With that, over to Wes from NFBB. Now, it may be good for one more if we get through the rotation quickly. Otherwise, I might pass my magic exit and be out of range. But we'll try for one more. So over to Wes from NFBB. Go ahead.
NHDUY repeater. NHM. Well, good morning, Howard. Welcome to the net. I forgot what I was going to say now. And it was just, when I did my good morning, it went away. Oh my! Leslie Nielsen. That's what it was. Yes. You're correct, Eric. Yeah, I think it was the movie Airplane where he transitioned about 1980. But he played in a number of television shows. Don't know if he was in movies, but I saw him in a lot of TV shows. Don't recall seeing him in any Perry Mason shows, but I know he was somewhat of a regular in The Fugitive, starring David Jensen, the Queen Martin production, and I've seen him in some other 60s television shows, can't recall what. But yeah, you're right, Eric, I hadn't thought about that. Let me hand it down. Let's see. I'm going to hand it to Chuck. KE8BM, not sure if you signed yet, but if not, it'll go to Mike. Chuck, if you're there, take one. Roger. NAQM from KE8BM with a little gap. And yeah, I am going to sign on this one, but just to let Howard know, since he just dropped in, Howard, I went ahead and sent that picture. It just went out. So it's attached to one of your photos from your shotgun into the group, so everybody's going to get a look at the steam thrower. So with that, guys, I'm going to say 7-3, and everybody have a great W8S ZFM to take it from KE8BMK.
All right, Chuck, 73. I'll try to be quick and maybe get it back to Eric before he's gone. If you want to pick a 7-meter frequency, Eric, I can try to key up when I get this antenna set up. We'll see if we can make it. Other than that, over to Mike, K8IMZ. This is W8ZFM.
Good morning. And it's 7-3. Yeah, okay, very good there, Mike. I wanted to mention, I wanted to mention, Howard, that you're spot on the online news. About 3:30 this morning, apparently, people started to have outages on their phones. And it says that tens of thousands of AT&T customers have been reporting outages. About 55% of their users are having issues. So it's pretty prevalent and pretty wide. And it's not just TNT, I guess it's Verizon and T-Mobile. I have Visible. Visible is owned now by Verizon, but it's a lot cheaper than Verizon, and you can text something like 140 or 160 countries
can call, and it doesn't cost hardly anything at all. So, but anyway, it sounds like they started about 3:30 this morning. So you're spot on there, Howard. And but anyway, I will keep it moving and over. Let's see, it goes over to you, Howard. This is KAA-IMC.
Good morning. Thank you for the handoff there, Mike. And yeah, it's something else there. I sat down and it's like, that's the first message I saw there. Just got it. So that's pretty funny. Oh, well, not so funny, but quite the coincidence and timing there. So, but yeah, that makes me wonder there where it's located at. Excuse me. So I'm going to guess that there is probably some tier 1 providers, something going on at the tier 1 on that's impacting all of the tier 2s here, all the cellular providers that are relying on those backbones and the fiber stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was something going on with the routers there. Probably someone, usually it tends to be a BGP release there. Someone does something with the bad border gateway protocol and releases a map distribution. I forget the technical detail for it right now. But that's happened a couple of times over in Australia, seems about once every 5 years or so. It is a problem with the protocol and some of the design there. It's all fun, complicated stuff. I'm sure there's some network engineers are going to be going to bed tonight with a whole lot less hair than they started the day with. I can guarantee you that. Hopefully, it's not going to affect us too badly because I'm the on-call guy for my area. But fortunately, we're just Google platform, so we're more of the stuff using it, and we're all hardwired in there, so not the cellular, that aspect. Although a lot of it goes to people with the Ford Pass and stuff like that using their cars to unlock it and that. So we probably will get a lot of reports of unhappy people out in the field that way. But this is what some of us make decent money for, is dealing with stuff like that. And on the 2 meter, so I'm going to wrap it up real quick so we can get back to Erica. Yeah, if you can throw out a frequency, we might try. I'll throw my ICOM over onto it and be listening to join in anything goes on this morning. Yeah, I'll talk about Leslie Nielsen later, if I remember. This is 88 AM, back over to W8FCX.
This is W8FCX and Mike, KAA-IMZ. I will have a genealogy update for you on that story I started earlier in the week on the next round. Let's move it on over to Eric, see if he's still in there. Go ahead, Eric.
Yes, I am still in here for now. We have, what's this mile marker coming up? Mile marker 72, so I got 3 more miles before I officially drop it, because that's where US 23 takes a hard bend to the right, and I drop down in the valley and the propagation just goes away. Yeah, as far as the outage goes, I don't know. Every time I hear massive outages like this, I always picture some intern sitting on a backhoe saying, "Hey, boss, I cut through the multicolored tree root again." And, that's where it just stems from that. But hopefully they get it fixed. Like I said, it's not affecting me yet, but time will tell. As for HF, if you got a 10 meter frequency, we can try it. I'd be happy to throw my call out there, but chances are I'll be too far away for ground wave, but not far enough away for skip propagation. But never hurts to try, right? And with that, I am going to make this my 7-3 round, as I am coming up on the curve of doom here. So I'll say 7-3, catch everybody tomorrow morning, but I'll be listening out as long as I can. And last comment is Howard. I just wanted to make sure you got the email about that PCB fabrication stuff I sent out this morning. With that, over to Wes from N8FPV, 7-3. I'll be listening out.
And they come. Well, have a great day there, Eric. Sorry to lose you. Always like hearing your voice. So, with outages, we can't out of hand discount nefarious governments interfering. It's pure speculation, but I think, just reading the writing on the wall is something that they would like to do if they are not doing. Certainly China, because they have to move, they have to do something. They're going to implode upon themselves if they don't do something. And so, I don't have, I'm not an expert, but I do know, like the topography of the oceans with respect to when would they want to move. It's got to be either in the spring or in the fall. Other than that, there's a lot of limitations when they would move on Taiwan. But when that happens, it has to happen. When it does, there's going to be some awful things that are going to affect all of us. But it may not be. We may just sail through this and be fine. So I'm speculating. I don't know anything, but you can't discount that stuff. It's not possible. I'm good for one more run. I'm looking at the clock. Let's see. Chuck signed. I'm going to hand it to Mike. ZFM, this is. And he comes.
NHBUY.
Kilo Delta, Mike Golf, over. All right.
Oh, okay, very good. I was wondering who that was because I didn't pick up the signal. Well, very good, Jim. To be interested in finding out if there's any more information from that newspaper article that you talked about. So I'll be listening on that one. So, well, very good. I think I'll be good probably for one more here. I've got to go to a couple of different places this morning and keep the ball rolling. Take advantage of this little bit warmer weather as well. So anyway, Howard, over to you. I didn't realize that you were the nucleus of, I guess, a cell phone activity. I'm not sure exactly what that is, or one of the technicians. I'm not sure. Maybe you can clarify that for me. So over to you, Howard. This is K8IMZ. I'll be good for one more this morning.
This is 88IM, and I did hear Kurt try to join in, so I'll give him a chance to see if he'd chime in after me. He was very down in the noise, though, but I definitely heard his call sign there. I don't know, just before Mike went in, Zombie Mike started there. And I tend to be in the nexus of people passing me information because I've gotten to that point in life in the network of contacts that people tell me stuff, and then I quite often will already know it or have someone else tell me it, so it's sort of a handy thing there. And that's sort of one of the reasons I get in the radio is to have more sources of input and information and be able to share more information, just being more community-minded and all that good stuff there. And before Eric's out of range, yes, I did get the email. Have not read it yet, but yeah, definitely, and I will greatly appreciate seeing that because I definitely have a couple ideas that could go to a good BAP house there. Excuse me. I did have a nice QSO over Echolink with a repeater out in Rochester, Minnesota last night. Since one of my buddies out that way got quenching HT and set up and just
sending a message over there, checking the Echolink there to see that he's picking up there. And got good information for him and when the next VE session is out in his neck of the woods. So he can do that, and I'm going to keep kicking him because he's at until May to be studied up. And I'm going to try to get him to go all the way and 0 to hero the overnight sensations. Because once he gets past the FCC and the memorization questions in the general, the extra is actually pretty easy for him because of his background in physics and that. So that'll be easy, but just got to keep kicking them until they do it there. And it's for a situation like this when the some phone networks start acting up that it's kind of handy to have the radio to fall back on. And speaking of radio, I'll throw out a frequency out of the blue here. We can try 29.615, 29 megahertz and 615 kilohertz to go with it to try the 10 meters today after the round table's up. So I'll be on that since I don't listen to much else. And there's not a whole lot of repeater action all day around here. Sometimes there is, but usually not that much. So that's where I'll be. And I was going to mention Leslie Nielsen. I remember when I saw him in airplanes, like, what? No, that guy's a serious actor. What's he doing here? Oh, yeah, because I knew him by name from the other stuff. So that was very interesting. And my boxes remind me, I'm talking too long. This is W8STX to take it from 88 IM in the group.
It goes over to Kurt, Kilo Golf 8, Mike Golf November, if you're still in there, Kurt. Good morning.
Well, good morning, gentlemen, and the group. This is Kilo Delta 8, Mike Golf November.
Now I don't even have SOS on my phone.
I'm
I'm all alone. Just like when I grew up on the farm. Without a phone. And everything was okay.
Kurt, you have bacon on your signal, but we can hear you just fine. And did correct list for Kilo Delta, not Kilo Golf.
Oh, the SOS is back. I'm safe now.
I get messed up too. Well, just checking in here. It's been a little bit. Good morning, everybody. Sorry we missed the rest of the group there. And this morning headed westbound, and we'll go out to 23 and get the fuel, and then head up to Bend. So anyway, we'll stand by. Hopefully, I'll be coming in here a little bit better in the next few minutes if the net still takes place. So, over to you, Jim, from the Golf Program.
This is W8STX. Good morning, Kurt. Good to hear you on the radio this morning. And Mike, KA8INZ. I did follow up on the fellow who said he was the foster brother of one of my great-grandfathers. And what I found, I found different information about him in different places, newspaper articles, census records, and that sort of thing. And when it's all together, it does make a lot of sense. Break the time. I did follow him around, and so the first article that I found was 1934, which said that he was a foster brother. And I found newspaper articles from the 1920s that verify where he was living and what his occupation was prior to that, which would fit with the 1934 article. And I found his obituary in 1965 out in Arizona, and it had more information, which would all dovetail in with that. And to sort of put the icing on the cake, I went back and looked at the 1880 census for great-grandfather, and he was in that household in the 1880 census in the North Texas area. But it doesn't say foster child. His relationship to the head of household was listed as servant, and that brings up more issues. Over to, let's see, Eric is signed. It goes over to Wes. This is WDSN.
This is NAQM. Well, you know, the Leslie Nielsen thing and the movie Airplane, you know, the conclusion I have with that is that the scriptwriters for Airplane wanted to mess with our minds. And so they picked some actors that were highly typecast and then cast them in different roles. Anyone who has seen the movie Airplane will certainly remember the role that Barbara Billingsley played in the movie Airplane. It was only one scene, but it was absolutely memorable. Barbara Billingsley, of course, was Theodore Cleaver's mother in Leave It to Beaver. And in that role, she, of course, was highly typecast. And so then when she appeared in the movie Airplane, there were two black passengers that were speaking high level, what do we call it, Ebonics or something like that. You can't understand them. And so the stewardess was trying to talk with them, and she couldn't understand them. So then Barbara Billingsley, another passenger, comes up, "Stewardess, I speak jive." And so then she just goes into this Ebonics thing that you can't understand, and it was so laughable and memorable. I will never forget that scene. 73 folks. I'm going to be listening out. I'm looking at the clock. Gotta save my 73s. I'll be listening out. And so let's see, I'm going to hand it to Mike, ZFM. Mike, take it away.
NHDUY repeater.
All right, 73 to you, Wes. That's a great one, and yeah, I love that scene. I love that whole movie, to be honest, though. That's a good one. And they did do a good job with typecasting where they needed to. I like it. Other than that, Howard, I copied your 29 to 15, I believe it was. I was out setting up the inverted B. Turns out the parking lot's open today, so I'm going to go ahead and try. We'll get that going in a few minutes here. And over, I don't think the other mic's signed yet, so KA8 IMZ, W8 ZFM.
Roger. Okay, very good there, Mike. And good luck with your activity this morning. It should warm up a little bit also. So, and Jim, wow, that it sounds like the plot thickens. It's almost like solving a mystery, a mystery problem, I guess. But it sounds pretty good. It looks like you made some good progress, however. I'm not sure where you go from there, but anyway, there are multiple sources, so that's pretty good. Well, keep us posted. That'll be interesting to find out, your final outcome. I'll say 7-3 on this go round and get moving, and good talking to everybody this morning. Howard, over to you, and I'll listen out.
All right. Well, have a great day there, Mike. Always good to hear your voice, and always good to hear Alan's voice, WXQ, when he's out there, and always good to know he's listening to us in the HT when he can. And also, good morning, Sockless Larry, WB0RM, and if you're also listening there. I'm going to make this my 73 round as well, since I got to get going, and this is very likely with AT&T stuff to come back and be making me for a very busy day for me there, since a lot of the on-call features of the Ford products go across cell waves to go through and do stuff like use Ford Pass to unlock car doors, start the ignition remotely, and all that. So it could be a challenge for people separating out what is really just AT&T outage from actually a outage of our products that I support in the operational end. And that's what I do, Mike. I'm not so much over in cell phone or networking or any of that anymore, but I'm supporting the global cloud platform environment as Ford uses it and sets it up. So
I do work with the networking guys that do that stuff and the app teams that do stuff and all over, but I get to fortunately do a lot of coding work on it, write automation tools for our guys to be more effective at supporting the platform. So that's kind of what I'm doing there. I realized I didn't answer your question earlier. And that is correct, Mike, 29.615, and I'll be over there in about 2 or 3 minutes. And wow, that's great information, Jim. Thanks for sharing. That's just, as Mike says, what a mystery going in there. It's like playing detective, but that's none of the fun doing genealogical research there. Just always something there, and you never know that you've actually found everything or not that is to be possibly found. Wes, even though you're gone, and I missed it the previous round, yeah, the current geopolitical situation is, that's interesting stuff, and the nature warfare does dictate that spring is the season to start the campaign, so who knows. But yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff going on, and it's, as they say, an interesting world, and we're in interesting times, and that's not necessarily good. I just like a nice, boring existence of peace and happiness with my family and friends, but seems like that's not in the cards at the moment, not for a while there. So this is 88 IM, wishing you all a great day, 73s, and I don't recall if Mike signed off on it. I think he did in his last round. Oh, he was right in front of me, so it will be Kurt. KE8MGN to take it. And sorry about that. Skipping you after I mentioned you, Kurt.
Well, that's quite all right. This is Kilo Delta 8, Mike Golf November, Kurt. And I'm surprised you heard me at all. I was picking up the repeater over on Middle Belt, but super scratchy, and usually when I'm receiving that way, the transmit's not any better. But when I first get on the air, I'm typically going to be heading west pretty quickly, and usually we'll be able to get into the repeater better as I'm on the road. I got another mount coming for this truck. Break for time for a second. Because it also has to do with the setup here at the mobile. I put this 2-meter 440 antenna on the left cowl, and it just really never has worked very well. It's pretty close to the entertainment center. Speaking of messing up the Ford Sync system, I get RF into the Ford's entertainment system, and it doesn't like it. So I got a part coming from this Larson Electronics out of Texas for a third brake light mount. It'll put it up over the cab and a little bit further away, and hopefully it'll take care of some of that stuff. Sounds very interesting on the genealogy stuff, and I remember that show back to the Naked Gun Leslie Nielsen stuff. I remember The Fugitive. That was I always wanted to be a cop, never did become one, but I wanted to work for the Department of Justice and be a U.S. Marshal. It never really happened, but that's okay. Life goes where it goes. I was just as a little kid, and for some reason, I have this vague memory of Leslie Nielsen on either Gunsmoke or Ponderosa, and like black and white, old westerns. Maybe I'm thinking of Loring Green. I'm not really sure. Anyway, over to you, Jim, I think, from KD8MGN.
This is W8STX, and you are listening to the weekday morning roundtable on this frequency. It's an open roundtable. It's open to all licensed amateurs. Just throughout your call sign, we'd be glad to put you in rotation. Break for time. And Kurt, your very first time you threw out your call sign, really, really scratchy and down in the weeds, like someone else said. But the second time, when you actually had your first round, well, you were much better. And that time on this round, well, you were very solid. Great copy on your signal. So good for that. And yes, doing genealogy is kind of like working on a jigsaw puzzle. but you don't know where the edges of the puzzle are. So you start putting the pieces together and sort of see how it all goes. But yeah, you have to look at lots of different kinds of sources to put things together. And of course, you know, you have to always be asking yourself, is the source reliable? And where multiple sources come is try to come to a reasonable conclusion of what actually happened based on multiple sources, and not overly rely on one source, like a family history that was compiled 50 years after the fact. And with that, over to Mike. It looks like Whiskey 8 Zulu Foxtrot, Mike, and then Mike, you'll pass it down to Kurt, unless we hear somebody else check in. Is this W8SX?
NHBUY repeater.
All right, well, I'm going to bug on out of here. I got about 40 minutes to try to get activation done before I got to pack it. And good to hear everyone. And Jim, I did get your email. I'm going to go over that with the boy and my mom and see what they want to do. Thank you very much for that information. And everyone have a good day. W8-705, I'm first here and starting to get on the HS.
Good morning. And it's 7-3.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Wasn't sure if there was another bike in there still to go or not. Well, have a good day, guys, and have fun with your activation there. And I won't be home for a while, but I finally just got a 10-meter vertical antenna set up at the house, and to get on to check out some of the FM reviews. So, Jim, did you do any 23andMe or anything like that? And what's your take on the accuracy of what the DNA analysis spits back out to the consumer? Kilo Delta 8, Mike Golf November, over to you.
This is W8STX. Let me. I'm gonna pause, see if somebody else wants to check in. I think I jumped on it a little bit too quick. Break to see if somebody else wants to join in. This is W8STX. I did not hear anyone else join in. Let me see if I still got it. So, Kurt, to answer your question, I have been a customer of 23andMe, Family Tree DNA, Ancestry DNA, and MyHeritage DNA. So I have either tested at those companies or I have transferred raw autosomal DNA data to companies. And so I'm in all of those databases. And for those people who want to take the time to learn how to use DNA evidence for genealogy, it can be very, very powerful. But not everybody wants to do that, and not everyone who takes the DNA test will actually do a genealogy to interpret their DNA results, because although autosomal DNA testing is very, very powerful and can give you lots of good information about your family, it is very complex to analyze a DNA match list. Back to you, Kurt. This is W8STX.
Little pause there. Kilo Delta 8, Mike Golf November. Yeah, thought everybody had signed, but everybody jumped in there too quick. No, yeah, of course, my family, like everybody else, there's some serious stuff that is, always going on in the background there. And I've been thinking of one of the consumer kind of products that, they had this cheaper, I think it was like $75 or something like that. But then to get the data for both sides, maternal and paternal, I think it was either Ancestry or 23andMe. This is a few months ago. I was doing this research, and I thought it was like $240 by the time, I got done reading what I could and kind of studying what I could get out of it, and then making a decision as to what I want to spend. And it just seems high to me. And the other question I have is, are all these databases shared, or do they keep it as proprietary? A little break for time there. And of course, what I mean is, say my brothers have done the Ancestry, and I use 23andMe because it's cheaper. Will the comparisons be done on a global database, or each one of these companies keep their own proprietary database? Over to you from Kilo Delta 8, Mike Golf November.
That's a lot of bacon. Where's my eggs? Just kidding.
This is W8STX. Well, Kurt, you asked some good questions there, and especially for someone who hasn't tested, those are good questions to ask. Now I taught genetic genealogy for 4 years to the Oakland County Genealogical Society
phone's gonna
group, and
battery's gonna.
my recommendation is
live stream
then, and it is now,
even though it's just me,
to test
but that's all
in
right.
many of the databases as possible, all other things being equal, but not all things are equal. Some databases are bigger than others, and large